No, one of the boys I served with overseas in the army was at the protest at the shrine.
One of the boys that you served with?
Served with on deployment was at the protest at the shrine.
That's pretty sad. You say you wouldn't do it now based on what's happened in the last few years, but you're hoping some independents take back a bit of that power and bring the country back to a place where you would, if you had to go back in time, rejoin and reconsider doing exactly what you did?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I hope so. I hope things can get better, but yeah, I guess at the disappointment, the current state of affairs, yeah.
Avia Mini for Rebel News in Melbourne, Australia for the first Anzac Day Parade March in 2 years.
It's good to see everyone out about again. It's really, really good. I actually went to Perth last year thinking that they were going to be open, got there and got locked down. It was crazy.
After the last couple of years and even last year with the way they had the shrine fenced off, that was appalling. So this year the weather's been on our side, crowds out, fantastic.
Have a look, have a listen. It's awesome.
It's Melbourne's come back alive.
That's it. That's what we want. We want Melbourne to come back alive. Sick of the masks, sick of COVID, sick of staying home. We want to go to the footy and we want to live.
Sounds like a conspiracy theorist.
Beautiful weather.
I'm from Perth, so we've always had ours, but yeah, it's great that people are coming out and respecting the diggers.
It's been moving, man. Like, we haven't had a lot of, since COVID. I feel like, this year has been super special, bro.
Yeah. Did you miss it?
No. Yeah, she's missed it.
I'm getting heckled by...
She's missed it.
She's missed it?
Yeah, she's never, yeah.
You getting on the piss today?
Nah, I've been on the piss.
So this is not your natural...
Good to see Anzac Day back to normal. Catch up with old mates, talk about the ones that aren't here anymore, that sort of thing.
For me, I guess it's, commemorating the people who have served and for me just catching up with my mates, yeah.
What's harder, your service or being a granddad?
Oh, I don't know. Sack Dan. I saw him up there before, clapping. Yeah.
How'd that feel to see him up there?
Not so good.
And I'm happy to see all this. Unfortunately, we had to do eyes right there with Uncle Dan up there, sitting down.
That's all right. How'd you feel seeing Uncle Dan?
Oh, I get angry. I really do. After the last couple of years, the way we've been treated, I'd get angry.
Were you happy to see him out there?
I mean, I don't know anybody in my community that likes that guy.
It was hard to march past him.
Did you see him? You saw him? It was hard to march past him. If he's watching this now, what would you say to Dan?
Probably something you can't broadcast, to be honest.
This is Rebel News. We can probably broadcast.
Yeah, who knows what to vote for this year. I certainly don't like any of the big parties, but Dan Andrews has definitely got to go.
Do you have any hopes for this election?
I hope to see independents make as much gains as possible, and I hope more and more people move away from the major parties. I'm not happy with it, with the way they've handled the pandemic, etc. I think it was a huge overreaction. Just way too extreme, way too controlling, and just the draconian nature of it. Just the way you have to do this. It's like with no discretion, no distinction between different risk profiles and that. Yeah, so I was disappointed really with how it was, and just even concerned. I mean, what the direction of it all is. Yeah.
Would you say that was the Australia you fought for?
No, it wouldn't. I mean, if this was the situation now, the army is not something I would have considered joining, because it's like, well, I don't support this system, whereas at the time it was very different.
How are you feeling with this election?
Vote for the minor parties, put the majors last.
It's funny because all the veterans I'm speaking to are telling me the same thing.
Yeah, good on them, good on them.
Do you reckon they're going to get a bit of a shock in a couple of weeks?
I hope so.
There better be change in the air, I think. I lost my job through COVID and everything, and you've always got to have hope, don't you? That's why you do these things, but fingers crossed there's some change. I think as long as we can get some minority seats in there and pull the power that way, then that's the way it's got to be, I think.
Over the last couple of years, we did see a couple of protests and some that got a lot of media attention at the shrine. How did that make you feel?
I wasn't happy about that at all. And I am for protests. I love protests. Fight for your right. But probably not there.
It's a really tough one. I know very respected people in the military that both were against it, and others highly respected, have a perfect service record, that thought it was okay. Some of them said things like, that's what we fought for, to be able to have these types of protests. Maybe if they were protesting something else, other people would have been okay with it. So I think what you're protesting depends on whether you accept it or not.
It's virtually like going to a cemetery and standing on someone's grave and doing it that way. Yeah. Look, I know and I appreciate their sentiment, but yeah, it just made me a bit thingy, you know. I went, oh yeah, guys.
Well, you've served here in Australia, so you have every right to have that opinion, and I appreciate and respect you for your service, and thank you.
One of the boys I served with overseas in the army was at the protest at the shrine.
One of the boys that you served with?
I served with on deployment was at the protest at the shrine.
Anzac Day 2022 in Melbourne, Australia. While the numbers may not be what we'd seen pre-COVID-19, it didn't seem to bother the heroes of today. They were just happy to be out and about again. The only complaint that I heard from some of the veterans here was the fact that they had to march past Dan Andrews, which I can sympathise with, having to march past the smug Premier who shut this march down over the past 2 years. But overall, it's their day, and it's important to remember what this day is about, because freedom isn't free, and today we remember those fallen heroes that paid the ultimate price, that sacrificed everything and gave up their lives for the freedoms we enjoy today. Avi Amini for Rebel News in Melbourne, Australia, lest we forget.
I love your work.
Thank you, mate.
And I think you're doing a great job. I love your courage.
Thank you for your service as well, mate.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good job.
If you enjoyed this report, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, share it far and wide. Then head over to followavi.com, subscribe to my mailing list, and join me on all my social media to ensure that you receive the other side of the story in the lead up to this most important election. Followavi.com now.